Good morning. As much as I understand, we are supposed to be online, live, and everybody should see us and should hear us. So, therefore, dear colleagues, today we've got our official meeting of the Selection Commission to select the head for ARMA. And therefore, we start this official meeting of our selection commission. And today on this meeting, we have the presence of all of the members of the commission, in particular, Wolf Baumert, Sergei But, Angelika Lukasyan, Katarina Lukina-Shachova, myself, Katarina Rozhenko, and Rita Simosh. So all of us, we are here, and we can go straight to the questions that we have in our daily order. As far as our daily order or agenda, please support the Commission to consider the review of the complaints that we received from the participants of our competition to be selected as head for ARMA. And we received one complaint from Mr. Drozd, who, by the preliminary decision of the Commission, was not permitted to continue on with the selection. So, dear members of Commission, let us vote, first of all, for the agenda of the day. I would ask Mr. Wolf, would you support the daily agenda that I have announced?
Yes, I support the agenda.
Дякую, пане Сергію.
Mr. Sergey?
Так, я підтримую запропонований порядок.
Yes, I support the suggested agenda for the day. Madame Angelika? I support the suggested order of the day. Madame Valentina? I vote yes for the suggested agenda. Yes, myself, I'm also supportive of the agenda. And Madame Rich?
I also vote for the proposed agenda.
Дякую, пані Анжеліко.
Thank you very much, Madame Angelika. So therefore, we've got 6 members of the Commission who voted for the agenda, and nobody abstained and nobody opposed. So thank you, Madame Angelika. So let's go straight to the question of the day. So as for this time and date, we have got some of the timelines that were preliminarily announced in our official meetings. And as a result, we received one complaint, but to be more specific, we received 2 documents. There was the request and demand and complaint from a person who showed the desire to participate in the selection, in particular, Drozd Mykola Anatolyevich. And in the complaints, Mr. Drozd draw our attention to the fact that he disagrees with the ruling of the Commission regarding the non-permission for him to participate in the selection, just on the basis of the fact that he did not supply the comprehensive selection of the documents, and the Commission failed to assess whether he complies the requirements of legislation or not, and therefore he reached out to us with a request to review the results of our voting regarding admission or non-admission of his person to this selection. And basically, in such a way, we want to gain, we have to reach out to our discussion, and we need to discuss why did we make such a decision. And after the complaint of Mr. Drozd, whether the position of the members of Commission have changed, and perhaps there is also a need to review our preliminary decision. Few words regarding the questions that are raised by Mr. Drozd in his complaint, where he disagrees to the point that the Commission have the ruling that the Commission have. Let me just say that the law of Ukraine of ARMA, in particular the Article 3, states that any person who wants to become the head of the national agency has to have the high legal high legal or economics education. There should be a good professional experience, not less than 5 years, to have also the experience of governance, not less than 3 years, to be fluent in the state language, and also to have the foreign language, which is one of the official languages for the Council of Europe. This is as far as the requirements for the work experience and preliminary experience, and so on and so forth. And of course, the candidate should have integrity, should have good business and moral ethical qualities, and so on and so forth. In accordance to the requirements of the legislation, we as a commission, we were grounding our decisions, and in the preliminary meetings, in particular the meeting that we had on the 19th of December 2025, where we confirmed the announcements about the timelines for the selection, we have set and approved the set of the documents that we need to see in order to figure out how well the candidate complies with the requirements of the legislation or does not comply. And on the 6th of January 2026, we received a document from Mr. Drozd with his participation in the selection to be the head of ARMA. Nevertheless, Mr. Drozd failed to provide us with all of the documents that are necessary for the comprehensive assessment of his person to participate in the other stages of the selection. And since following our order that we as a commission, we have approved, we have such an opportunity, we have sent an additional letter to Mr. Drozd regarding the correction of some of the above mentioned shortcomings of his application documents, and he did send some documents, additional documents, for the review of the commission. Nevertheless, for the time for the terminal date of the accept of the commission, which is 9th of February, the commission did not receive the comprehensive set of documents. At the same time, we would like to note that the complaint from Mr. Drozd regarding the grounds for non-permission for him to participate in the next steps of the selection to be the head of ARMA. We have the list of documents that are mandatory for the candidates to provide them. Among such documents, we have such a document as an electronic declaration that all of the candidates and all of those who want to take the position that they need to send via the resources of National Agency for Corruption Prevention in the electronic form. And in particular, Mr. Drozd, if he is around here and if he wants to be the candidate to take the position of ARMA chairman, then in accordance to the Article 45 of the Law of Ukraine of Corruption Prevention, he was in particular supposed to provide his declaration. He did not provide the declaration in the timeline set by the Commission, and therefore that is very substantial part of the documents, and the Commission had no opportunity to get an assessment, comprehensive assessment, decision-making regarding his admission to the other stages of selection without the presence of this electronic declaration. And since the law has a requirement to all of the candidates to turn such a declaration, therefore we need to say that this is not discreditation position of the Commission, but it's a direct requirement from the law. The other thing from the complaint of Mr. Drozd is the question related to his labor experience. It's a pity, but on the based on the materials that Mr. Drozd provided, the Commission failed to establish whether he qualifies the qualification requirements regarding the experience of the professional activity and experience of work on the leadership positions that are required by the law. because we do not have complete information in the documents that he provided. We do not have data regarding the beginning of the end of the work experience in certain position, which did not allow the commission to look and figure out what exactly the obligations were with Mr. Drozd, what was the character of the functions that he fulfilled, and whether or not these functions and the character that they carry complies with the leadership, with the governance, managerial positions of activity. And in particular, the experience on the leadership positions, this is also one of the mandatory norms required from the candidate. And among other things, there are also some other exclusive moments that the commission failed to make a decision regarding admission of Mr. Drozd to the participation in the selection. Therefore, dear members of commission, with the consideration of above mentioned and with the consideration of the complaint and the document that you've seen as provided by Mr. Drozd, and also as you were familiarizing yourself with the documents in order to make your decision regarding the proceeding with the selection, what should be your position on my following question? Do we, as members of the commission, do we satisfy the complaint of Mr. Drozd regarding the review of our decision regarding his participation in the next steps of the selection? Are we allowing him to participate in the next stages of our selection? I want to say one last thing. We have received no additional documents from Mr. Drozd other than the very complaint letter. So perhaps I did not ask any feedback from you as members of commission. Would there be anything that you would want to add before we would go to the voting about this content of this complaint and the position of you as members of commissions? I don't see any comments yet from the side of those who are present on this meeting. So therefore, I want to suggest that we do the voting for the following question. Do you, as members of commission, do you support, not support, or you abstain from the position of the complaint of Mr. Drozd regarding the admission of his participation to the next stages of selection and changing our previous statement? We'll follow the same order as we did. Mr. Wolf, can you tell us, please, do you support or do you oppose or do you abstain from the decision to satisfy the complaint of Mr. Drozd?
I don't
Mr.
see
Wolf.
any reason to allow Mr. Drozd to participate in the contest, so I'm voting for rejecting his complaint.
Дякую. Так, пане Сергію Бут.
Mr. Serhiy But,
Оскільки зазначені
since the
пункти не відповідні
above
закону,
mentioned uncompliance, discompliance points, they are definitely not honoring the law enough, and since we as the commission do not have the authority to change or to do some arbitrage to these points, so I vote to reject the complaint, and I want the commission to have the full authority, to keep the full authority of their previous rulings. Madam Angelica, with the consideration of the grounds that we just heard from Madam Kantarina, and truly from my end, I've studied all of the documents and I want to confirm everything and support. Therefore, I want to vote to reject the complaint of Mr. Drozd. Madam Valentina? With the consideration of the fact that Mr. Mykola Drozd did not provide the documents that are required by the law directly, those are not additional documents, they are mandatory documents. And also, as I have familiarized myself once again with the list of the documents that were provided by Mr. Drozd, I do not see any grounds to review the preliminary decision of the commission, and I want to vote to keep this complaint without satisfaction. Thank you.
Пані Валентино,
Madam
я відповідно
Valentina,
голосую,
therefore,
теж
I also
за те,
vote
щоб не
towards
відповідати на скаргу, не задовольняти скаргу пана Дроздя.
satisfaction of the complaint
Лишити
of
наші
Mr.
рішення
Droz.
попереднє
I
в
vote
силі.
to
І
keep
пані
our
Ріто?
previous decision. And Madam Rita?
Good morning. I also vote for maintaining the Commission's previous decision. I won't repeat the previous documents, but would just like to highlight that there are several mandatory documents that are required directly by the law that were not submitted, especially the declaration of a person authorized to perform state functions and the consent for verification under anti-corruption legislation. So this overall lack of mandatory documents, in my view, mandates that the Commission's decision be maintained. Thank you.
Дякую, пані Ріто. Пані Анжеліко?
Thank you, Madam Rita. Madam Angelica, floor is yours.
Мене чути?
Can you hear me?
Так, чутно.
Да, зараз чутно.
Yes, we can hear you
Пані
now.
Анжеліко, вам слово.
So, Madam Angelica, the floor is yours.
Отже, за
Thank you. So, to reject the complaint of Mr. Droz Mykola Anatolovich, we have 6 people who rejected his application. Nobody abstained and nobody voted against. So we've got unanimous decision to reject the complaint from Mr. Droz Evgeny Anatolovich. So therefore, let me just say that we would send our feedback to Mr. Droz directly as a result of his complaint. Let me just emphasize, even though it basically was the main requirement of the complaint, all of the protocols for our decisions there on the website of the Cabinet of Ministers, all of them, they are established in the needs, in the requirements of the legislation and all of the internal procedures of the operations of the Commission that we have already confirmed that are also in the public access. So therefore, as far as everything that relates to the procedures and processes that are governed by the Commission, you can familiarize yourself with that in any moment. And also, as far as voting goes, we can also you can also see the results both online, and also you can find the results in the protocol, in the minutes of who voted in which way for which questions. And the last thing to remind our candidates in the participation to the rest of the candidates on that on the 11th we'll have the testing number 1 for the knowledge of legislation. As far as more specific details about the time and the place to run such testing, we will inform that to you in the nearest time. But the examples of the testing questions are accessible on the website of the Cabinet of Ministers, so you can familiarize yourselves with those questions as well as with the taxonomy that will be relevant for you to undergo the testing for the knowledge of legislation. Unless the members of the Commission, they have additional questions to be discussed, we are exhausting the agenda for the day. And thank you everybody for participation. Have a good day and goodbye.
До побачення, на все добре.
Goodbye. All the best to you.